Hey guys, Dragonphil here. I'm going to be profiling my Dark Worlds. I have not made a video in a while, so this is for the new ban list. Let's get into this. So first I run 2 Beige. Beige is a card that you'll bounce for Grapha constantly, and the reason I run 2 is for the fact that if one of them gets removed or bottomless or something, you can always have that second one to exceed with. The first one you can exceed with, bounce the other one for Grapha. It's just kind of nice having 2 of them, because sometimes something unexpected will happen to the first one, then you need that one more. So now next we have 3 Brow. Brow is probably the next best card to Snow besides Graphics. Graph is of course the best card, but he when he's discarded he draws you an extra card, so it's kind of useful. Next we got 3 Grapha. He is your main boss monster. You bounce a Dark World card back to your hand to summon him, and he destroys a card on the field. So he's an extremely good card. Then next we got 3 Snow. Snow is your searcher of the deck. She normally will search like Graphus, Gates, and Dealings, things like of that sort. Next, we got 3 Trans Archfiend. He's just an overall amazing card because he gets your effects off and you can get your removed darks back. So overall, he's a very good card. And then with the ban list, tour guides go into one, so I just run 1 tour guide. It's kind of nice having that 1 tour guide to go into Leviathan for Gates and that sort of stuff. It's overall just a good card in general anyways. So yeah. Next for the spells, I got 1 Allure. It's good with Trans Archfiend and Tour Guide because you can remove stuff and get them back. Next I run 3 Dealings. Dealings is probably your best discard outlet besides Gates because you can activate it at any time and get whatever effect that you want off. Next I run 3 Dragdown. Dragdown is really good because it counters your opponent's strategy by looking at their hand, and you can choose something and get your effects off. Foolish Burial. It sends Graph and you bounce for it. Most of the time is all you're going to do with that card. 2 MST for the fact that you want MST for your for like macro and things like that, or cards that counter your strategy, and it's overall a good card because Graphic can pop the monsters. You can get the rest of the back row with that card. And then we got 3 Gates. Gates is such a great card. It definitely helped Dark Worlds when it came out. It gives your Fiends 300 and you remove a Fiend, discard a Fiend, and draw a card. It's just such a good card. It definitely makes the deck work. 3 Upstart. It just makes your deck a smaller deck count, basically like 37, and it helps you draw into your combo cards, and it doesn't really matter if you give them 1,000 because of the fact that Grapha will just beat your opponent down constantly, so the 1,000 isn't really going to matter. 1 Grapha hit is 3,000, so just keep that in mind. It really doesn't matter. For traps, we have 1 Dark Smog. I like it at 1 because if you Reckless, you can sometimes draw into another Fiend and then use Dark Smog to discard it. It's just overall a good card against some matchups like Volcanics. You can remove their Scatter Shot for an example. Eradicator, it's at 1 for a reason. It's just an amazing card. You call Speller Traps and you can sometimes get rid of their whole hand with that card. 2 Mind Crush, it's just a really good card in general. It's really good this format for sure with all the searching and necros and stuff like that. Everything searches right now. And it's just cool how you can get your own effects off by calling a wrong name. It's got a lot of uses in this deck. Next we run 3 Reckless Greed because when you get 2 of them off, you normally win the game because of it. So, and it gets your deck drawn through, and it's such a good card. It's just for the fact that when you draw like 2 of them in one hand, you should win that game. Oops. 1 Skill Drains, it's going to 1, and it just doesn't care about this deck because all your effects activating great besides Trance and Tour Guide. 1 Torrential, you destroy your field and Graph is just going to come back, so it really doesn't matter. Now for the extra and side deck. So let's do the extra deck first. So first off, I've got 1 Felgren. He is good for going into from Graphas. Like if you didn't defeat your opponent with the 2 Graphas, you go into him. Exiton, it's like Judgment Dragon. You blow up the board, and it's just nice to have if you're running out of resources. Cowboy, it burns for game or it's a beater. Alucard with Tour Guide and such, you can blow up a back row. Overlord, it clears the field when you have 2 Graphas. Levier, it's good for Grapha, remove from play Dark World kind of plays and such. Maestroke, it's a Fiend and it is good against Rogue. because of the fact that normally Rogue will have less defense than it, so Gates powers it up. 107 because it's good against cards that you need to negate the effects of during the battle phase. 15, it's kind of like Overlord, except it inflicts life point damage, and it definitely an interesting card. It definitely gets the job done. Leviathan Dragon. Like I said, it's good to go Tour Guide with Gates in the field and bring out another Brow, Exceed into him, deattaching unit, and then remove it with Gates, discard like a Brow or Snow and draw a card and search. Zombie Stein, he's an amazing beater with skill drain. Same with Acid Golem, he's a beater. Fortune Tune, he's just kind of nice to have if you want to go defensive, because normally I like to use Zen Mains to pop a macro or something, but normally I go into him if I need to stall for a few turns. Tempo is good against Exceeds that lock you out, and then Zen Mains again is for floodgates and such. You can blow it up by making them attack and deattach a material. Now for the side deck, I got MST and Twister. They're just extra back row removal. It's just handy to have it in certain matchups. Another Dark Smogs, I wouldn't run more than 2, but it's nice having the extra one if it really affects that matchup drastically. 2 deck of, you got to. It's just against some matchups, it'll destroy their whole hand, so it's just amazing. 2 goes in, it's good against some matchups, depending on the matchup. This is good against Light Imprisoning Mirror, the extra Mind Crush if you want to side it in. I got 2 Overworks because it'll blow up both the fields, and Grapha doesn't care, it'll just come back, like Dark Hole and such. Rivalry, again, it's like goes in some matchups like this, some other ones like the other. And the one Vanity is because it's that one. It's just kind of nice siding it in. Okay guys, that's my deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. I think this deck works pretty good. I wouldn't really change anything. If this helps you out, then that's great. Thank you guys for watching, and this is Dragonphil signing out.